Okay, welcome to November's Power Hour. Our mini training today is Find Their Hook, using interests to open the door. Um, Hello, everyone. I hope you're having a great day. We're going to jump right in and give me a second to share my screen. Oh, hold on. Why is it not working? Okay. Find their hook, using interests to open the door. So here at Clayful, our coaches know that connection starts with curiosity, right? And we actively tune in to what is lighting a young person up. So whether that's the new Nike kicks that are just dropping, or maybe what their favorite Overwatch characters are, or if they've got like a recent obsession with the K-pop Demon Hunter soundtrack, whatever it is, we're using those interests as entry points for deeper conversation. And this is one of the most successful ways that we've found to create a connection that opens the door to talking about things like self-care, healthy habits, or just getting support in general. So today we're exploring how you can do the same using those unique student passions to build trust and open space for wellness-centered growth. So first things first, get curious. What is lighting them up? What are they wearing, creating, reacting to? And what are they talking about when they do open up? That's how you're spotting the hook. And maybe you've been so curious, but they're still not talking. That's okay. The hook isn't actually about getting the students to talk. It's about showing that we're paying attention. So you're creating an awareness in them. Hey, this person is noticing what's going on in my life. They see what's unique about me. They've noticed a change in me. And that can be the first step towards either building trust or growing trust that's already been established, because trust takes time, right? We're building trust in small doses. You may have heard this analogy before. It's a new one to me, but I really like it. So you might think of trust like a jar of marbles, right? So every time you are reaching out, showing you're listening without judgment, you are adding a marble to that student's jar. And over time, those small moments are adding up and filling the jar, showing them that you are a safe person to reach out to. Because one of these days they're going to have a big problem and they're going to look around and say, who who can help me with this? And ideally your jar will be full by then and they can say, oh, you know what? I can go to them. And so it's not about being perfect. It's about steadily adding more marbles whenever you find the opportunity to do so, right? So maybe you've spotted the hook. Now what? This is where you start to create an opener, so that we can move towards connection. So create an opener that feels natural to you. Strive for a tone that's light, neutral, conversational. We don't want to sound scripted, and they're not going to respond well to that most likely. And so it's less about saying the right thing and more about being genuine, genuinely curious, genuinely wanting to connect, genuinely wanting to help. So I have some examples here. Let's say a student is talking a lot about a big game that's coming up, or a competition or a performance. You might say something like, hey, you've been putting in a lot of work lately. I'm curious, how do you plan to recharge when it's all over? Why does this work? You're opening them up to the idea that balance, aftercare, and recovery can be part of reaching their goals. So you're nudging them towards a deeper conversation, and you're also nudging them towards a mindset that's rooted in self-reflection, because these are ideas that they may not have ever thought of before, especially in terms of reaching their goals. Um, a lot of students spend a lot of time getting to the goal, and then there's nothing happening afterwards. It's just, what's the next goal? So again, we're reinforcing those ideas of self-care and wellness. Another example, maybe this is a student who's always drawing, making origami, or creating in some way. I used to work with a student who would save the wrappers from all their disposable straws, and they would make little figures out of them. And in this instance, you might say something like, sometimes it seems like your art tells a story. Do you feel like this helps you calm down or process stuff when you're stressed? Why does this work? You are highlighting that emotions have the power to spark creativity, and also that their art might have a deeper meaning, which they may not have considered. And so, again, nudging them towards deeper conversations and self reflection. And another example. Maybe this student is all about their friends. They're mentoring their friends frequently. Maybe there's a lot of drama happening in their social group, and that's all that's on their mind. You might say something like, it sounds like a lot is happening in your circle right now. I wonder, what's helping you keep your own peace during all of that? This works because you're shifting their focus to self-awareness and highlighting that self-care is important during times of social stress. You're also, shifting them away from kind of the surface level chaos that can come with these social situations, and reinforcing the idea that, even though all this stuff is going on around them, they also matter, and what they're feeling matters. And it doesn't have to just be about, um, how they react in relation to everything that's going on around them. They can also do things that are just for themselves, just to take care of themselves. And so again, nudging them towards self-reflection, self-care, deeper conversations. Um, Maybe you've got a student that seems tired, distracted, overwhelmed, or just off in some way that you can't quite put a name to. We talked about this last month in spotting the off. This doesn't really have anything to do with interests, but you're still noticing a change in them, and that's the hook. Um, and so you might say something like, I get the feeling that you've had a lot going on lately. How's your brain doing today? This works because you're checking in casually, but it's also less generic than asking something like, how are you doing? Because they might just say fine. And so when you reframe the question to be a little bit more specific, a little bit different, this is more likely to earn you more than a one-word answer, because their brain is having to take a little bit more time to process your question, and they're less likely to give you an automatic fine, no problem, whatever. And again, you're nudging them towards a deeper conversation, because a lot of times whenever students think about how they're doing, they might be tempted to think about overall. But if we're highlighting a specific area of their life, how's your brain doing? How are your emotions right now? How's your body feeling right now with everything that's going on? Then it can give them a chance to take that extra second to pause and reflect and move towards deeper conversation, more reflection. I know I'm repeating myself, but that's the whole point of today. Reflection, deeper conversation, connection. Now let's talk about moving from that connection to care. Again, I want to emphasize casual, no pressure. Um, and so you want to bring that support up with short, affirming phrasing, just so that students can be more receptive to it. You might say something like, there are a few ways to get support. Do you want to hear what's worked for other students? Or you might say, support isn't only for when things fall apart, it's also for keeping things balanced. Or maybe you might say, you deserve support, even when things are mostly okay. And so all of these, again, are affirming, they're brief, they're casual, we're not putting pressure on the student, and we're also reinforcing the idea that they do not have to earn support by being in crisis. They don't have to hit rock bottom, they don't have to be crying, they don't have to be frantic. Anything that they need support on, whether it's a little or a lot, they deserve it. They deserve to get support. And let's talk about offering care resources. So depending on what they're going through, they might just need a simple tool, or they might need a longer check-in. Clayful has a a lot of things to offer students in this regard. We have the Clayful programs, which we're going to talk about more in depth later in this training. We have Clayful tools, which a lot of students and teachers have found very helpful, and Clayful chat, of course. And then any other school and local resources available to you. We're going to go through each one of these a little bit more in depth, but I just wanted to highlight them here. So jumping right into Clayful programs. Clayful programs aim to empower students by appealing to who they are and nurturing habits that help them thrive, not just recover. So again, we're trying to be proactive with care and not just respond to a crisis. So right now, the programs that are available are Clayful for Creators, Clayful for Relationships, Reset with Clayful, Clayful for Athletes, and Chill Mode by Clayful. Clayful for Creators. You would want to offer this to any students that are creative, original thinkers, just to support them in that journey that they have going on. Many students might have creative ideas, but they tend to get stuck in second guessing or worrying about judgment. Clayful for Creators builds confidence in students' unique voices, whether it's in their writing, music, fashion, content creation, et cetera, whatever it is that they're creating. And it encourages students to see creativity as a skill to grow and empowers them to continue thinking in their own unique way. It also helps students express themselves, and it can quiet that persistent voice of perfectionism that might be holding them back and just allow them to create with confidence and more calm. And we've also got Clayful for Relationships. You would want to offer this program to help students build stronger connections because relationships can sometimes or often distract students from learning and growth. So whether they're feeling left out or experiencing their first crush or having friendship conflicts, every student is going to face challenges in their relationships. So this program aims to build confidence, communication skills. It helps students navigate relationships so that they can focus more on what matters most and be more successful in school. And Reset with Clayful. You would want to offer this program to students who are feeling off track. Maybe they need a healthier school rhythm. Because when routines slip or motivations fade, students can start to feel really stuck. And Reset with Clayful helps them pause, refocus, and get back on track. It also encourages students to create healthy, sustainable habits to create a better rhythm for them in school and in life. It also helps them build the kind of habits that boost motivation and strengthen their follow through whenever they have goals or just something that they're wanting to do. And next, we're going to talk about Clayful for Athletes. This is actually one of our more popular programs, if I remember correctly. You would want to offer this one to student athletes who are hoping to build more support both on and off the field, because student athletes face unique physical, mental, and emotional stressors. So this program is designed to support those unique challenges and their unique lifestyle. It provides quick mindset tips as well as encouragement to keep the athletes grounded and focused. And it helps athletes manage pressure, bounce back from setbacks, and perform their best in general. And last but not least, Chill Mode by Clayful. You would want to offer this program to students who are feeling overwhelmed, stressed out. It might be appropriate for high achievers because stress can hold students back and make their struggles even more difficult to work through if they don't have a way to manage it. So Chill Mode by Clayful gives them the tools designed to build stress-busting habits. It supports a healthier mindset so they can manage the tough stuff a little easier, and it provides a simple, structured way to help students feel calmer, more confident, and more ready to take on their day, right? So we're going to jump into what this looks like on your Clayful Educator app and how you might share it. So first, what you would do is log on to your Clayful Educator app. If you haven't created an account, you can do so at clayful.co/start Clayful-Educators. And you would just click on that little start button right there where the green arrow is pointing to. If you already have an account, you would just log in as normal at clayful.co/chat, and this is what your homepage looks like. Ideally, you're familiar with it. Now, on the left-hand side here is a menu. You want to scroll down, you'll want to scroll down, and as you do, you'll eventually find the Programs for Students button. Once you click that, it'll take you to this page, Coaching Programs. And if you scroll down, you can look at all the different programs that we just discussed. I went ahead and scrolled down to the bottom, which is where we have Chill Mode by Clayful. On the right side, you'll see sharing information. You can copy and paste this message here if you want to use it in Google Classroom, Canvas, email, or whatever you use to communicate with your students or present information to them. You can also just grab the link right here and use that however you see fit. And on the left side here, we have just a brief overview. If you just need a refresher of what it's all about. And if you click on Learn More, you'll be able to see what your students see whenever they go into that. And so they'll come to this initial page here. And if you click Enter Chill Mode here, you'll be able to see how they're introduced to the program. And so they get a little bit of an overview on the left here, and then they get a screenshot of a text or a message that they might receive whenever they're using the program. And if you come over here to the left side and scroll down a bit, you'll see all the options in full. And if you click, never mind, I'll check it out later, then you're done. But if you really want to see what's going on with this program, you can click continue to sign up and press OK and actually sign up for it, either for yourself because you feel like you might benefit from it, or if you want more firsthand knowledge of what your students are experiencing of what your students are experiencing, then you can sign up and have more information that way. And ooh, that was it. Okay. So if you have any questions on that, how to navigate it, feel free to reach out to me anytime. I'm happy to, answer any question, big or small. So don't hesitate. Moving on to Clayful Tools. So our tools are research-based activities designed to help students both understand and manage their emotions. They help with building and strengthening relationships with their peers, teachers, family. They are quick, easy to use tools. They are visually appealing. They can be accessed anytime students need a reset or a boost, and they encourage reflection, empathy, communication, all skills for, growing their emotional well-being. And you can access these tools on the home page. Again, you'll find that left menu, scroll all the way down, and Tools is right under Programs for Students. So easy to find, click on Tools, and this is the first page that you will see. We have a highlighted tool up here right now, but if you scroll down, you'll see a search bar, you'll see some other highlighted tools, and so I would just say explore and see what we have to offer. And I plan to highlight this section in a future training, so to be continued. And if you have any specific questions, again, feel free to reach out whenever you need to. I'm here whenever you need more information. Clayful chat. I won't spend too much time on this because we talk about it every month. But some things that you may not have known, Clayful Chat is open 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. in your time zone, Monday through Friday, except for holidays. And we can chat with you in any language. Coaches can easily change the language on their end so that it comes out translated. And they can either request a specific language. A lot of times, if they just start chatting in that language, our technology will pick it up and recommend a language. And I myself have chatted in using the Spanish translation, and I didn't really have any issues. So, firsthand experience, it works pretty darn well. And again, if you have any questions around Clayful Chat, just let us know. Again, I'm happy to answer any questions, and we cannot wait to hear from your students because we really do enjoy what we do. School and local resources. Each school and its surrounding community has unique resources. So recommend what you think is best, whether that's individual and group counseling services, mentorship programs, extracurriculars and clubs. Maybe all they need is some tutoring or a test prep program. Um, so as you're trying to help your students, uh, offer the resources that make the most sense. Uh, final, final thoughts. So, when we're talking about finding the hook, that's really about starting with what matters. Because when we start with what matters to young people, we're not just finding a way in. We are helping them build a foundation for their own self-awareness, their own care, and that's setting them up for more success throughout their school life and then as well as their life after school. We talk a lot um, in this world about, planting seeds. We talked about the marble analogy earlier. These small conversations, these small moments of reaching out, they all build on each other. And especially within the school system itself, you're not working alone. You're building off of what the teachers that came before you have already started. And you're building off of, what the principal just did a moment ago in the hallway. You're all working together to fill a larger jar of marbles. So you're not alone, okay? And we're all working together, and all of it counts, all of it matters. Sometimes it can be difficult, to see that in the moment, but I can think of so many instances in my life where somebody reached out in a small way and it meant so much to me. So I want to close out by just letting you guys know that you matter so much, what you're doing matters, and your openness and your ability to reach out and connect to your students matters. And I hope that you will move through this week and into your holiday, remembering to also take care of yourself as thoughtfully as you take care of others. So again, reach out for any reason. I will see you next time.